Welcome back. I'm here now with retired warrant officer and UN peacekeeper Ken Knighton. Thank you so much for joining us here today at Windsor's Chimczuk Museum in honor of Windsor Regiment's 80th anniversary celebration. Peacekeeping is a very important job, a full-time job that must be waged.
It is.
Tell us, what are the role of peacekeepers here at home and around the world?
The role of the Canadian peacekeeper is to maintain agreements that were set up between the United Nations and, unfortunately, warring countries. Our particular task was to make sure that the zone of separation between Israel and Syria was not violated. It's difficult to say what the role is because it changes all the time. Different places, different circumstances, dealing with different government bodies. It's not something that you can write down and say, okay, this is step one, step two, step three. The presence of the UN peacekeepers in the area is enough to maintain that idea of peace and security. And people look at the UN peacekeeper as somebody that's there to assist and advise, as opposed to force any agreements or anything else onto the government of those people that they haven't already agreed to.
And peacekeeping is one of the more effective tools used by the UN, correct?
It is.
Okay.
It is.
What are some of peacekeeping's unique strengths?
Trust. I would say that's the most basic strength that they have. Honesty. The sense that we're there to help, not to change. And when people look at that, they welcome the UN peacekeepers to come in and help them build infrastructures, dig wells, set up schools, things like that. So our ability to assist and advise is greatly appreciated by a lot of countries in the world.
You assist during that difficult transition from conflict to peace.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. It's sort of like a marriage counselor. When there's a domestic dispute, you have to call the police, which is the warring factors that come in. And then once the peace is made, you have to have the marriage counselor come in and talk to the people and say, look, you know, we're going to do this and you're going to do that, and we're going to try this and we're going to try that. And eventually the peace is gained, and then the peacekeepers stay to maintain that. So that's pretty well what it's like, except a lot of times you don't have bullets flying at you when you're trying to take care of a marriage.
Yeah, well, hopefully not anyway.
Well.
So the UN peacekeeping has three basic principles.
Mm-hmm.
My understanding here, we have consent of the parties, and then there's impartiality,
mm-hmm.
and then the third one being non-use of force, except in self-defense
mm-hmm.
and defense of the mandate.
Absolutely.
Absolutely correct. Okay, good. You can't guarantee success, though, right?
No. No,
and
you can't.
why is that?
It depends on the circumstances. It depends how much each side wants to give or take. Mm-hmm. So when you set down a parameter that this is the way we're going to conduct business in maintaining the peace, it's difficult to go actually to those governing bodies and have them all agree.
Mm-hmm. And depending on the physical environment. And
Absolutely.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Absolutely.
So you've built up a demonstrable record of success, the Nobel Peace Prize?
Mm-hmm. It's a sort of a fortunate necessity that we have to be there. I would much rather be out of work than actually going and standing between two countries that want to destroy each other. The whole idea of peacekeeping is the idea of maintaining the peace, and actually I would much rather be out of work as a peacekeeper, because that way I know the job was done and that I have a sense of fulfillment and a sense of completion in what I and other peacekeepers in Canada, the United States, Germany, France, all over the world have done. And if we can achieve that, then we've made a difference.